Welcome back, everybody. The madness continues. We're going to continue to work on this ash pile. It's pretty hot outside. Been trying to hydrate, keep things going. So thanks for showing up. It really helps keep me motivated on such a hot day. And let's get to it. Let's see how much wood is in this trailer, all right? I got one pallet down here, left myself enough room to get a second one down. Plus, my brother and I went out in the woods last week and picked up a giant round of ash that we had sitting there. It was a two-man job. So what I like to do is I like to block these corners up with the square pieces and then bring the other wood out so that when I got the square pieces cross-stacked, they kind of like the old log cabin style way of stacking here. Plus, that way, you know, because I like to split in squares so that it dries faster, it leaves you enough room to give a little bit of wood airspace between the pieces of wood. Helps it stack easier so it won't fall over. So I like to run 2 rows on each pallet and leave enough space in the middle for air to flow. And then the idea with it being north and south this year is that the sun would get down into the pile on one side and then down into the pile on the other. Not only on this end, but also have some infiltration in the center here to help dry the wood as well. Then I leave my wood uncovered until I'd say October, November, and I cover it up just so it doesn't fill up with snow. That way you get the full effect. October is one of the driest months that we have, so you want it to dry out. So you want all that dry air to get to it, kind of like a blast furnace. I'm gonna go 3 pieces there. This one I'm gonna turn this way. You know, I might be explaining to you the way I stack this wood, but I would no way claim to be an expert wood stacker. When I was a kid, my dad used to yell at me all the time because the wood pile would fall over after I stacked it. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I was just, obviously it was something. Boy, that pile of white oak there sure does smell. It's a good smell. I like the way it smells. White oak and red oak. It's certainly some distinctive aromas there. So a little of this I'm getting set up for firewood bundles as well. Want to make sure our heating needs are taken care of first. And it's a long way to haul for firewood bundles. I plan on ordering a trailer load of logs over at the house. I just got a few more trees to cut down and make the room for it. I know it seems like a waste to leave this space in the middle, but the airflow certainly does help keep the wood dry. So sometimes what I'll do is as you're coming up with the wood about halfway through, I'll throw a stick across there and tie that row to this row. Just a little more insurance that it doesn't fall over. Last year when I was stacking wood, I used the landscape timbers. And I really like them because they're treated and they'll last for a very long time. But they're expensive this year. Then I would do it on cinder blocks as well. You know, cinder blocks are going to last a long time too. All of this wood business is going to change for me next year when the Easton maid gets here. You know, you spend $11,000 on a log splitter, you got to think of how you're going to earn the money back. Part of it, of course, is going to be by doing selling firewood. At first, until I build up a really big inventory, I'll probably just do bundles, because that'll be the highest, most money I can earn selling firewood. And then once I build up a drying inventory over at the house there, then I'll start selling face cords. Another way I could make money back with the Easton maid, I've been thinking about it, is to hire myself out. And just, I'm starting with a round number, like $100 an hour. You know, if I could do, with the people's help, of course, you know, I'm not going to rent them the machine. I'm going to go out there and help them. If we could do 2-3 cords an hour, maybe 2 cords an hour, you know, and they're paying $100, it's probably cheaper than renting a log splitter at the rental store. It's another thing about workflow. It's nice where I'm working out of this trailer, you know, because I'm not picking it up off the ground and I'm not moving an arm load or whatever. It's going from my waist high to my waist high at this point in time. Certainly things could change if, you know, if you're just starting off the stack, or you're up near that 4-foot mark. Boy, it is a hot one out today. Trying to drink a lot of water, keep my motor running, and get out on the highway. I know people I guess I don't understand it, but people are all into this bark up, bark down business when stacking wood. I don't think it much matters. The bark is bad because it retains moisture. So the bark on the wood, whether it's up or down, is catching and holding moisture against your wood. You know, at some point it will just kind of slough off. And I got some oak in the yard right now, and I guess not excluding that oak, but when you pull the bark off, it's wet and there's a little bit of mold underneath there too. So it's time. You know, the bark's kind of coming off on its own, but it's time to come off. And I think that's truly when you start to get dry wood, is when the bark's off. Kind of interested to see if this mic picks up the drone where it's at right now. Kind of help me out to figure things out for long term for filming. You know, when I first started doing this, I thought it would be much easier than it is. Not the firewood, the YouTube thing. But it's hard. It's I don't know whether it's a little clicky. You know, I got off of Facebook in 2016, so I'm really not a social media guy. And YouTube ends up being just another social media platform where people are making connections with other people, which is fine, because I think that it's more direct towards the subject versus, you know, just going out there. You know, I look at the YouTubers I want to look at versus just going out there and reading, scrolling through pages and pages and pages of minutia, which is one of the reasons I had to get off of Facebook, because I couldn't stand it anymore. But just like YouTube, if you direct yourself to what you're interested in or want to learn about, I think it could be a good thing. you know, it just takes you to the next page, the next level, the next contact. It's going to help you solve your problems or give you ideas, teach you a thing or two about a thing or two. Okay, time for a little break and rehydrate. We're going to go for a ride up to the top of the hill. See if there's any more trees fell down. We got quite a storm that rolled through on Wednesday night, I think it was. So, let's see if we got any problems up towards the top of the ridge. pull behind mower and keep some of this stuff down. You know, just mow it once or twice a summer and that's it. Leave, you know, and then let the deer be on their own. Right here's where we had that tree fall down last weekend when we were here. We had to clean it up. Oh my. We have to stop on the way back down. There was a ton of looked like oyster mushrooms. I went by them kind of quick. Okay, we're heading back down the hill. I'll stop and show you where those mushrooms were. We'll see if they're any good yet. It is amazing to me, you know, how much we've kind of been out in the woods this summer and how many mushrooms that I found just driving around. See here, off to the left there, there's just a bunch of lion's mane mushrooms, or cone's tooth mushrooms as you would call it. Okay, I know you can see them, but we're going to go out and take a look at them. Just an incredible amount of mushrooms that came out here. This tree had fallen down across the road last weekend, and we cut it up, and now all the pieces are just full of mushrooms, so they are decomposing. Little tree frog down there. These are Trimites versicolor, or otherwise known as turkey tail mushrooms. Those are the ones that cure breast cancer. You better look at that little guy there. This is kind of amazing here. Some of those are really like decomposing badly. They look like, yeah, they're oyster mushrooms. It's just that we missed the prime here. Bunch of rain probably didn't help. So there's those logs. We just cut them up last weekend. There's some back there because the tree had just fallen. And then these logs here. Some over there. See some that might be fresher over here. Oh yeah, look at that. All the logs that we cut last week. have these growing on them. So these here, I don't know. Tell me what you think. I mean, they're ribbed down to most of the stem. But usually in these oyster mushrooms, these aren't all that great. Yeah. So these would be a regular oyster mushroom compared to the yellow oysters that we found a couple weeks earlier. So, kind of cool. So let's get back at it. Hey, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. I really appreciate it. And if you could give me a thumbs up and maybe punch that subscribe button and show up when we got some updates. We do all kinds of stuff seasonally, whether it's working in the woods, making firewood, doing tree release projects, forest stand improvements, everything down to harvesting logs to inoculate for shiitake mushrooms, to bees and gardening and canning, and going to be doing some soap making too. I know that's not really a guy thing, but it's kind of a off-grid thing, so I'm going to show you that. I'm doing an experimental batch right now. It's another thing, what do you do with all the ashes you make from burning firewood? So another use for it. So thanks for showing up and have a great day.